Hi Facebook, my name is Amber and I wanted to make a video telling you about what happened to me back in January and to hopefully be able to ask some of you for help. I've tried contacting a few religious advisors, rabbis, priests, preachers. I had one actually sit down and talk with me, but only for a few minutes, and I can't get anybody else to call me back or, actually be willing to listen to the story. So I figured I'd ask anybody out there that could help me figure this out to help me figure it out. I have to say that I was an agnostic up until a few months ago. I just believed everything was different and not quite the way that religion had it. I felt that deep down, and when I was 7, I had tried to read a copy of the New Testament, and this voice in my head told me, don't read that, it's got some lies in it. And I was like, what? So I ripped it up thinking God was talking to me, or an alien, or something more powerful than 7-year-old myself. And then the voice actually got mad at me and yelled at me for ripping up God's word, because even if some of it wasn't real, I still had no right to do that. Kind of odd, I know. But I wasn't raised in a church. I'm not any religion. Like I said, I was more agnostic in the sense that I believed a little bit of everything, but man had polluted a lot of the original message. And I was big into history, so I liked, reading the old stories of the Greek gods and goddesses and the Norse religions and just how people thought and lived back then. Of course, even in the past 100 years, we've made incredible breakthroughs in just knowing our world and what it's made out of, and even something that is true today, 50 years from now could get changed completely around. So I find it interesting. But anyway, 7 months ago, I went outside to smoke a cigarette. I apologize, I'm extremely nervous to put this out here, and you'll actually understand why in a moment. I was outside on the porch, and I'd had a few weird experiences happening probably from September until this experience actually happened with, I felt like I was starting to remember past lives. I remembered my name, Isabella Orsini, in another life, and just starting to have some of these weird things happen. I would walk down the street and I would almost see somebody else in a completely different life or setting. And just for a second, just a little, like a flash really quick, almost like a subliminal message. And then it was gone. And so it was weird. So I started, doing a couple meditation techniques, seeing if maybe, I could get something happen to where it made sense. And I just actually started doing it for maybe 2 weeks, kind of half attempting it, let's see if it works. But I remember me and my sister got into an argument, and thanks to the meditation techniques, I am normally a very angry person sometimes. I have a very masculine disposition, in the sense that I like to be in charge. I like to, not micromanage, but know what's going on, I tend to like to be the stronger one. I had the misconception most of my life that, you shouldn't cry, more of the very masculine side of humanity. And But thanks to the meditation techniques, me and my sister got into an argument. I let it go. I didn't whirl about it. I didn't, get annoyed about it or let it affect, me so much as I realized we're having a disagreement on this. Let, her be her. And all of a sudden, I started seeing these visions of like a sword coming out of her mouth, a dragon, like a white cow or buffalo, or I don't know really what it was. It was like just these shapes I couldn't figure out, and I thought it was E.T. talking to me, which I still don't know, for a fact what it actually was. I was so stunned I forgot to get a name. Sorry. But I was like, look, I can't understand you. Can I talk to your boss? Thinking it was an alien, maybe the boss would be able to, beat me up or something. Sorry, mosquito. I just wanted a little bit more clarity on what was going on. And all of a sudden, it felt like a bright white light of nothing but love, something that you don't feel here at all. The only way to put it, the best way to explain it for me would be to tell you to Google near-death experiences and listen to what they have to say. They all describe the same loving white light. And it told me my name was Peter, or it was, but they said Peter and Petra, or this time Petra, or, and I'm thinking it's like Julius and Julia, how the Romans would just take the U.S. off the end of a name and put an A if it was a female. So Claudius became Claudia, Julius became Julia, etc., etc. And it opened my, I don't really know how to explain it. It opened my mind in a way I can't even explain it. I remember past lives coming here before. I remember who I am, both on this side and the other side. I've always felt like I came here for a reason. I know what that reason is, or I know what it is. I just don't know how to go about doing it. A lot of things that I couldn't make up. So I would Google it and see, what it meant, and it would start talking about these Bible verses, and I was like, I've never, read the Bible. I was 31 years old. I'd never read the Bible, except maybe Genesis, like the first couple paragraphs or something. So I started looking up these verses, and it was almost as if this voice was telling me what it said. And not only that, it was telling me other places to look and other things to examine. And so I would look that up, and then it would explain what that meant to me. Sometimes the explanations I can make sense of, it's pretty clear-cut. It tells me exactly what it means. In other situations, it doesn't, and I'm really confused, and it's kind of, the best way to describe it is it's almost a combination of how people react and what they would think as the same situations have happened throughout time. And I find it odd that after knowing this, how people will argue over the interpretation of what a line or a stanza means, and they're both saying the right answer. It's just right depending on when, or right depending on which way you look at it. But neither of them are wrong, and people will argue about this over and over again. It just blew my mind. It really did. It's a lot of information, and I was hoping that people would be able to help me make sense of all of this. Everything's been going bad in the past couple months, and it's been wanting me to do this for, a minute now, and I can remember getting burned at the stake in another life, being called a devil or a witch. So I'm sorry, it was like a lot of information, but some of it was not pleasant to remember. But I do remember on the other side, we were trying to figure out what to do about her, because they had strayed so far away from the original intention, and some people were into wanting to get rid of it, or at least to teach humanity a lesson. Some had hope that the ones that know what is right will stand up and do something about it. I didn't come here alone. There is, seriously a team of people here, just extremely, you guys call them the Violet Kids, or the Indigo Children, or something like that. There's a lot of people similar to those characteristics are here, but so many more. I mean, there was a group coming down here to try to save humanity from something bad coming. And unfortunately, when this thing happens, there will be no denying that everything that we've allowed this world to become, we all know it's wrong to pollute, we all know it's wrong to do this, but everybody has the same mentality that, well, I'm not going to change anything by myself. And when the whole group has that mentality that I don't want to change it, or this is too comfortable, they don't want to do anything because they don't think anybody else is. So I'm asking for everybody's help. If anybody could help me with some of what I've been shown, or if anybody else has been shown anything, if you could get back at me, that would be absolutely amazing. That would be very helpful. Anybody have any ideas of, just anything that we could do to help fix the situation we're in would be amazing. Basically, I guess the whole message for right now, for everybody to know, is that something is coming. It's your choice what you want it to be. And I know there's a lot more. I don't really know how much I want to say unless you're interested in hearing it. Because I'm not going to try to cram something down someone's throat. I've tried calling churches. I've tried getting somebody else to help me through this, and to have other opinions on the best way to proceed forward with this would be. So if you could get back to me, or leave a comment somewhere on the page, I would really greatly appreciate it. The last thing I really want to say is we have a chance to fix what is going on now, but everybody has to be willing to try and to do their best, because if we don't, I'm really scared of what's coming. This was a plan that was very well thought out, And if everybody does what they know is right and we succeed at it, it'll be great. You will seriously bring God, wisdom, knowledge, beauty on earth. If we don't, and we want to try to hold on to the conceptions that everything we know is right and nothing anybody else tells us can change our minds, then I would hate to see what happens to humanity, because it's not good. I just feel sorry for anybody that would have to go through that. But like I said, if any of you all want to help me, if anybody's had similar thoughts, anything similar happened to them, anybody want to know more, that would be great. But I will say this for any deeply religious person that is not wanting to listen to this, I can tell you one thing that might change your mind. One of your religious leaders that you hold to the highest level asked me to come here and do this. And it's somebody that all of you respect, all of you know, all of you see something in. And there's a little bit more to it than that, but that's all I'm going to say, is that they actually helped think of this plan with the ultimate source to try to help humanity. And I think any religious person that wants to shut the door on what I'm saying and say, well, that's not what I thought was going to happen, so that's not it, I would suggest you rethink those concepts. Because I've been told a lot how the Jewish people can get out of the exile situation they're in, how the Quran fits into everything. It encompasses all religions, all thoughts, all schools, including science. It's remarkable. It's amazing, really. Just utterly amazing. And once you see it, you will be like me. You'll be like, oh my God, how did I not see that? But like I said, it's a lot of information. I'm still trying to process it all. So if anybody could help me personally, or just wants to be a part of helping to fix the situation, or even if you feel that you were here for a reason and you don't quite know what it is, this is it. I promise you. I've never seen so many souls in my life agreeing to come here and do this. Pretty much anybody from the age of 40 down is probably one. I mean, with an exception to a few, of course, and to varying degrees. Everybody's got their talents in their own areas. But I promise you, this is an amazing gift for humanity. And if we could all start pulling together, you really will have heaven on earth. So please leave a comment if you could help. I would appreciate it. Thank you, and have a beautiful night.